even when she was struggling, like she was always there to support.
Let's talk about some of the people, because this is an interesting cast. I mean, a lot of athletes, which makes sense, but then a lot of, people from all walks of life. When you saw who was coming or when you met everyone, who were you most excited to meet?
I think sometimes I was like, oh my gosh, like, why am I here? There are so many like cool people there. But I think Mel B, of course, because I'm like, Scary Spice is always my favorite. And she just exceeded my expectations of just being like so fun to be around and just hilarious. And then of course, like all the athletes like kind of intimidated me, but it was really cool to be able to just see what makes them so great in their field of work. Just the motivation and just the power of their bodies and stuff was really cool. But I mean, everyone, truly, I felt, somebody asked me like, who inspired you the most? It's like, honestly, everyone inspired me at some point in time, because we're all like facing a fear or being triggered by something and not wanting to do the thing, but then deciding to do the thing anyway, like doing it scared. And watching people do that was just so inspiring to me and made me just like really respect them so much more. And you saw that in everyone. So, yeah.
We see you bond with Beverly Mitchell pretty quickly in episode 1. Tell me about her. What was it like to hang out with Lucy from Seventh Heaven?
Yeah. Well, we got to see each other before we had to quarantine. And so she was one of the people I realized was on the show with me right before we started. And so I think we became each other's like support system really quickly, because we were both like, what are we doing here? Just a little bit nervous, but she's a mom in real life, and she became like a mama bear there for me. And then I was able to support her when she was really struggling, because, I think as women, or especially if like you're not from like a super athletic or not somebody that people would assume would be on the show, it was really easy to get in your head of feeling not enough. And I think, as you see, she really struggled with that sometimes, and so did I. And it was just great to be able to be there to support her, and we're still friends now. And really, really thankful for that friendship.
Jamie Lynn Spears is someone else who maybe could fall in that category of you guys,
Yes.
Feeling maybe like you were written off or didn't know why you were there. She's kind of like a polarizing-ish figure. What was it like hanging out with her?
I remember being like shocked when I saw her, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's doing this. But I can honestly say she is one of the nicest people I've met, the most down to earth. She kept spirits. Even when she was struggling, like she was always there to support everyone else. She kept people laughing. Like I cannot say one bad thing about my experience with her. I think she's just like she's a good person from my experience with her. Mm-hmm. So it was cool to be able to see a side that I don't think is always portrayed of her. And like I said, this is my experience. And I was so thankful to be able to have time with Jamie Lynn.
Kate Gosselin is iconic in reality television in so many ways, but also we see her get hurt so quickly in the show. What was it like seeing someone get hurt and have to leave like that early? And also, what was Kate Gosselin like? I just have to know.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm like, I didn't get to spend much time with Kate, but she was so easy to talk to. I actually really enjoyed my time with her as well. And I would say that about everyone, and that's not just me like trying to say the thing. It's really everyone there, like I did end up bonding with, maybe at different times or another, but she was actually really great. But she dropped really quickly, and it was scary because she's the first one to go, and it's like she's being hauled off on a stretcher. It's right. Like the way that I got through it was telling myself I was not going to die, but then I was like, eventually, like very quickly, like, am I going to die? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was right at the start. Oh my God.
But yeah, that was in a lot of different times. It was like, okay, like you have to be very careful on the show. Like, yes, there was safety around, but there was still instances where you could really get hurt and mistakes happened. And Yeah, it was scary.
Gus Kenworthy, you guys have a mutual situation in common with the Colton of it all. Did that come up?
I think eventually we talked about, like, how did you know him? And like, I know that he did the show with him. And so we talked a little bit about that, but I freaking love Gus. We became really close on that show. He wrote me a note and I still keep it with me in my wallet, still in my wallet. Like, I just really adore him and he's freaking hilarious. But that's the thing, you don't see like those little sides of people on the show because we're all trying to survive. We're all
right.
trying not to get in trouble, to have to do more like burpees or bear crawls when we're already exhausted. So, yeah, I mean, I think some of our little chats we have are fun, but he's the best. I love him.